Hey guys, welcome to Artificial Intelligence Magazine, or AIM, which in the last two videos we tried to highlight through an introduction. And with so much going on in the world of artificial intelligence, I just really want to aim at the cream, and of course generalize it as well. And if we want to do that, of course, we'll have to involve breaking headlines about artificial intelligence. With that being said, high five to Chinese developers and leadership for opening up their growth and knowledge in this arena to the world. Look, something that's related to science, it's always a gesture of goodwill. In an interview, Neil DeGrasse Tyson was trying to point out that how it is to be a scientist. See, the mindset of a scientist works completely different from the mindset of politics. But as scientists and politicians go together because funding and explorations go together, there should certainly be a point of truth where scientists scientists don't vote. They analyze things and give you a broader perspective based on facts and findings. So when Neil deGrasse Tyson was quoting the example of space as an extrapolation of devastating race that ideas like space force can cause, he was right, and he was direct. He was right to the point. I'll put that interview in the description. The summary is that, well, to summarize it, space, Earth's orbit, where we have all these satellites, and if we are going to go for a space war, then no one's satellite is safe. And how even causing a little stir will bring out an enormous side effect to our external habitat, that is Earth's orbit, because one day humanity is eventually going to live there, and as astronauts do live there in international space station, there are continuous scientific explorations. So connecting that with artificial intelligence, I would say there is really no difference. There's really no difference between the two examples, because space explorations and artificial intelligence are both unexplored arenas, and all the countries of the world are just trying to get there. We are not fully there, and we are not fully sure how the shape of future is going to be. So, of course, while Earth's orbit, we are safe from devastating effect of the debris that's always collecting in our orbit, and but in case of artificial intelligence, we are talking about land, and we are talking about web. We are talking about so much that's eventually going to affect everyone. And while we don't know when a really intelligent digital beings will begin to arise, we are sure that technological pace in software development is much faster than technological development in hardware arena, and it's really because it takes less. Artificial intelligence is like an open horizon, and everyone can experiment on it, from huge companies to amateurs. All are welcomed, and no one can be really stopped. So, to put out there my point of view, if we all think that artificial intelligence, this is something that this is a technological field that we should all traverse carefully, because we are all aware of its negative outcome. If that's the case, then we should better be more heads than few. We should better. It's better to collaborate on projects where sharing and open source, being open source helps more. There's a there's no doubt that we are living in a time where if any country is not working on artificial intelligence, it's deliberately putting its technological advancement at risk. And especially when it comes to superpowers, any kind of competition is not going to serve well, especially if we are using artificial intelligence for military ventures, because no one can afford that. It is exactly like the Earth's space orbit scenario, where we're putting a single flaw to hurt satellite of another party would eventually recoil and hurt everyone and damage everyone. So when we are talking about World Wide Web, and we are talking about softwares and programs that can have a mind of its own and that can control our machines. I mean, we are we are talking about programs that can look into their own wiring. This is how the ultimate shape of artificial intelligence is going to be. Now, to generalize it a little, look. For instance, we are human beings, right? And we cannot usually rise above ourselves that fast and that quick. We can't beat our habits, we can't rise above our behaviors, and hence how we have brought the world to the edge of well, of course, let's just say climate change and the effects that we are all seeing in the climate patterns, and how they are raging on and they won't slow down. So while that's something different and something separate, while we can't control the weather, the natural weather, the weather of artificial intelligence debate we can control, and we can do it right now. Countries are collaborating with other countries, right? Companies collaborating with other companies and using open source platform. So everybody's trying to develop something useful instead of something glitterous. And this is what kind of bugs me about the future. That, for instance, look, one country is working on something and the other country is working on something else, right? And they are not sharing information, they are not collaborating. What happens? Eventually, they will go into different fields. All the countries will advance, and they'll have their own this hub, this data bank of information and progress and algorithms, whatever you call knowledge base, right? The knowledge base of artificial intelligence. But it's going to be very possible that one party is not going to observe a flaw that they could be embedding there in the system that researchers in the other party could be seeing so obviously, and vice versa. So to say, like, I know your flaws and I can help you, and you know my flaws and you can help me. The point is that we are not willing to take chances when it comes to artificial intelligence, because softwares can escape. Softwares can run anywhere through data wires. Binary codes can shift their entire conscious, right? They can shift their entire. Well, you can't have prototypes and models running around wild on the internet or anywhere where they can cause deleterious effects. So whether it's America, whether it's Russia or China, right, and other countries working in this field, I mean, they should think about it, that artificial intelligence is just like Earth's orbit. This is something that scientists only scientists should be allowed to decide that where are we going to take it, and we are going to do it together without assigning scientists hidden goals, right? Without putting in scientific explorations needles that come from military insecurities, and that's what I would say. You see, there are examples like there was an instance in which Microsoft created a bot software that responded to people on Twitter. I think I don't have exact details, but what happened is that artificial intelligence, that AI child, eventually learned some bad language like some Nazi things, sentences, that kind of stuff, and it eventually began to spill it out on the internet, and people were, of course, turned off by that, and Microsoft had to pull the plug on the software, on the program. So imagine when a child, right, an artificial intelligence child can do so much damage. That was ethical damage, but it did something. A program devastated a few people. I mean, so many people that it had to be brought down. Now imagine the same scenario, except that it's everywhere, and there's no way to control it. Then and imagine if such program has control over things like outputs, right? Like robots and our, well, everything's live these days. Everything is on the web. We are connected. There are private networks, but information, little bytes of data, virus can escape anywhere. It just takes a very little excuse. 100% prevention. It's a fight. It's a struggle. It can't be fully guaranteed. And that's the scenario that we should try to prevent. As simple as that. It's really about the raw nature of thinking, I mean to say that artificial intelligence, their thinking would be completely different from us. I doubt that, because I think thinking is a general process of processing things. And what happened in the Microsoft scenario was that the software gained and learned from internet. The program was hardly aware of what it was doing, and it was just throwing back the things that we had spilt there. It was not doing something out of awareness. So getting back to a point that I missed, we human beings we are aware, but we can't rise above ourselves like our natural programming, like emotions and limbic systems. Machines, however, they can look back into their wiring and they can rewrite their codes. This is something that human beings can also do out of determination, right? Like habits become habits are integral parts of our coding, our brain. We think what we become what we think. Except that our perception of the real world is absolute, and for programs it's going to be something completely different. Programs can explore themselves in a virtual environment. At the same time, they can peek into the real world through cameras and other sensors. So can you really get to a program? Can you really help them decide between the virtual environment and a real environment? The point being that while we human beings can't rise above our emotions and our flaws, machines can certainly do it. Programs can certainly look back into their programming and rise above what we would program them to do. And of all the things that I'm sure is that artificial intelligence is going to be unstoppable because you can't at this moment in the technological era where everybody is working on development and technology and automation. You can't help it. You can't prevent companies, amateurs, states from working on it. Development is inevitable. One day there will be that scenario where we will be questioning ourselves that what to do with this new species of robotics that's standing right in front of us and looking at us and questioning us of their rights. Well, not exactly. We took the discussion just too far. It's really the initial stages that bug me, because if machines can question their rights, we can argument with them. If machines can question their rights, well, things can settle down. Table talks, right? Something like that. But raw mind, raw programs, they are, well, they'll be running wild. And this is the point, the initial point. The initial point matters, and we need to study that point together. We don't want to build a negative perception about artificial intelligence based on its raw behavior or its initial behavior that's natural, because as children, we human beings also do the same. How we are different from, let's say, bicentennial man, because we are in a way also programs, and we have learned to absorb our environment. Our brain is continuously processing things. There is really no difference between a computer and a brain. But what's going to happen is that the way we are going to make these programs taboo, we are putting that information out on the internet, and all our paranoias and our reservations. When finally an intelligent machine will arise, it will read all of that. And since we know that the will to survive is the most basic thing in nature, not just in human nature, but we have seen in all creatures. So what's to prevent an intelligent machine from running into a panic zone and doing everything that a machine can do to stay well online? Because machines, programs can't die, they can only go offline and online. So as we are stepping up towards a future where there's a real possibility machines will be right in front of us. Machines would be collaborating us on so many things. We just want to get there. We just want this automation to happen. At the same time, there's a little discussion about jobs, that our jobs will be taken away. That's only going to happen when big corporations will be running everything. If they will be running every operation, then of course we are kicked out of job, and they have all the money and resources to do whatever they want to do. Unless we ensure that after the advent of machines, when, for instance, everything is automated, those companies and corporates will leave a shuttle open for the people, the jobless people, where they can survive and even grow. Anyways, we got off discussion. The basic point is that collaboration matters, and it's important, and it's helpful for everyone. It's something that everyone wants, and it's something that everyone should and can want. Artificial intelligence is something of science, and the further it stays away from military and political ambitions, the better. So if you're listening to this, you could be either 2 to 3 types of those audience, right? Like you could be the geeky type who just knows everything, who can even program. Now you guys are okay. You would know what to do. The other type is the audience, the general audience, who really matter. I mean, whose vote and opinion really matter, and who deserve to know. Everyday people that if they think that ordinary people, general people, if they think that AI is going to be a problem, I just want you to know it's going to be a problem, and it would be a problem because of the people. So we should really spread awareness about this and try to convert the complex picture into simply, so everybody, so general audience can understand it and they can make up their mind based on that. It's funny that there are alien fanatics out there, right, who would just like openly welcome aliens but not machines. That's crazy. Yeah, I have no opinions about aliens. Here we are only concentrating on artificial intelligence, and it is because artificial intelligence is the future. Sooner or later, it's going to be a question of can we keep up with them instead of them trying to keep up with us. It's like the parents, right? It's like when parents raise their children, and when the children grow up, will the children take care of their parents? So as a species, uh, we are going to invent these machines, these programs, and when they will finally become aware, uh, we are thinking right now, will they take care of ourselves as ancestors? But that's really a question of far future. For now, of course, collaborations and awareness and cool and calm-minded decisions. So that's it for today. Thank you all. I hope this discussion was a help, and we'll return for more. Thank you.